Welcome again to my channel Organic and Hydroponic Urban Grow Pro. Friends, these are some of my adenium plants. Few of them are only 1 year old and couple of them are now 2 years old. Adenium doesn't prefer excess water, means adenium grows well with very less usage of the water, and that's why it's also called a desert rose. Adenium is well known for its big stem, shorter branches and the bunch of flowers with the deep sharp colors. It is the most beautiful form of this adenium. But adenium also can be trained into various shapes, as adenium has a very flexible branches when it is a new growth. So you can train them in a various way and the plants looks beautiful without even any flowers. In general, adenium doesn't require any extra care. But if you want to maintain its shape and maintain its beauty, you must take some special care for the plant every year so that you will get the healthy, sturdy and beautiful looking plant. In that, first you need to train your plant in a way it looks beautiful even without the flower. Adenium has a very flexible branches and you can train them into various way. In a most common way, you can train them into from one stem to 2 branch, 2 to 4, 4 to 8 branch, and all the branches in a peripheral way, and flowering will be in a peripheral manner. It's a vase shape training. It will look beautiful. If you are planning to put your plant besides the wall, then you can train the plant into the curtain shape or the parallel to the wall shape, and you can maintain all the flowers covering the wall. And if you are planning to put your plant somewhere into center with the big pot and an old plant, you can make the plant into that umbrella shape. In that, you can have a big stem, many branches and shaping in a inverted round in an umbrella shape. And the full plant, when the flowers, it will look very beautiful. And its most beautiful form, adenium plant with a very thick stem, very short and sturdy branches, and with a bunch of flowers on it with a very sharp and deep color, will look very beautiful. Will require a regular pruning to maintain that shape, and that's the second activity we need to do. While pruning is only a part of a training activity, but pruning has a certain definite advantages in the plant health. When we prune the plant will stop the growth above the cut portion, and whatever food is supplied by the root is get stored into the stem, and it will help the stem to grow thicker faster. When the new branches come out of the prune part, the branches will be stronger and sturdy, and when it bears the flowers also bears into the cluster with the very high numbers and with the good deep sharp colors. The third activity we need to do is the root trimming. When we do the root trimming, it will generate the new roots which will absorb the food faster, and it will contribute to a great extent to the plant growth. So after root trimming, we need to do the fourth activity of repotting the plant. When we repot the plant with the added manure, it will accommodate into the smaller size of the pot and still maintain the good growth of the plant. I will explain in detail how to trim the roots and how to repot the plant into near future with a separate video. And in that, I will also cover how to prepare a good potting soil mix to grow the adenium plant very healthy. But today in this video, I will demonstrate you different technique of training this plant to get the desired shapes. And I will also show you how to prune this plant and what care we should take while pruning this plant so that our plant stays healthy and give the good result. All that coming up. To know everything in detail, please stay connected to the video till the end. Don't go away. Let's start the video. Watch the video till the end. And if you find this video interesting and useful, then give me a like. Also share it with the like-minded people. Express your view in a comment box and feel free to give any suggestions to improve. Let's watch the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Now we will talk about different technique with the help of which we can train this our adenium plant to the shape what we require. Adenium plants are very flexible in its first year of the growth. So these are the first year stems, and you can see that these are most flexible stems out of that. And when these stems becomes the 2 years, then it will become little stiff. So we can take advantage of this flexibility in shaping this plant. We can also do some pruning and give the shape of the plant. That we'll talk in the later part of this video. But right now we'll see the different technique with which we can shape the plants. Now for training this plant, we can use different technique and different equipment. So for training, we can use some distance piece of the wood like this. We can use some longer sticks to support the plant in the way we want. We can use some aluminum cable to give the shape. Then for pruning, we can have this cutter, and after pruning, for protection, we should have that bordeaux paste ready with us. With all this, we can train this plant the way we want. Now, first if you look, this plant you see, it is grown long enough, but it is not in a shape. It is out of shape, and if you see that new growth is very near to each other. Now, if you want to make this into Y shape, then we can use this distance piece. We can separate these branches and make the distance where we want it to this plant, and allow this plant to grow for some time in this position. So when these branches become mature, it will retain this shape. So we have done this. In addition, we can tie the thread so it will not slip out. So this is about the distancing the branch. Now if our plant is become tilted like this, and if you want to straighten this plant, then we can use some sticks like this. We can give the support and make this plant straighter. So this will become straighter, and when the branches become mature, it will retain its shape. Now if you want these branches with a particular angle, then we can also do it with the thread. So for that, we simply need to make one round and tie this to some other object or some other stems. So now we can position them exactly where we want them, like this. Now if you want this also like this, so we are tying this, and we can tie to this other plant, and you can simply see this. Now it has got the shape like this. Now further, now this stem is like very slender and it has gone down. Now if you want to make this stem like this, then we can use this cable. There is a training wire available in many nursery stores, but if you don't have that, you can use any cable with the aluminum core. So aluminum core wire also can be used for giving the shape. In that, what we'll do, we'll tie the one end of this cable to this. Then we'll circle this cable around this stem carefully so that plant doesn't get damaged. So once we circle this aluminum wire like this, so it will follow the stem fully. After this rounding, so now we have completed our this wire rounding around this stem. You see this. Now we can give the shape the way we want. So aluminum wire will retain this stem into that position, and we can grow this plant for few days like this, and once this stem becomes mature, it will retain this shape forever. So this is how we can retain the shape. One more option, that you can knit this plant stem and give the shape. Like here we have planted 3-4 plants together. Now what we'll do, we'll knit this plant like this. So we are taking this 2 into this. These are going like this. Again we are going to fold like this, again we are going to fold like this, and after giving this shape we can tie them over here like this and keep it in this position for few days, and it will retain this shape, and when the flowers come it will flowering over here. So this way you can extend your imagination and give the shape as you want to this plant stems. In another method we can prune this plant and give the shape. So we'll watch that how we can do that. So now we will see about pruning and giving the shape to this plant. For pruning we must use knife instead of any shear cutter. Shear cutter will leave some scare mark on the stem. So instead of using sharp knife will give us a very clean cut. Now you can see that we have cut this plant last year when it was the 1 year old, and we have cut this at 10 inch, we have cut this at 8 inch, we have cut this at 8 inch. You can choose the height of the plant based on your final requirement. So I want to make this amount of stem thicker, 8 to 10 inch. So I have cut it from here. Now you can see that 2 stems coming out of each cut. Here is the only one. So I am going to develop this as a new cut. Now for cutting we simply need to take the measure and cut. Now here this is the 8 inch and I want to grow it another 5 to 6 inch. So I will measure around 5 inch and take this cut straight. And I am going to store these stems for the rooting it. I will show that rooting process into separate video, but right now I am cutting this plant for this 5 inch. Now this is the too close distance for this plant. So what I will do, I will make these branches as a distance with the help of this distance piece. So I will put this into this position. So this will give new branches from here, and I will have the shape like this of this plant. Now after pruning we need to immediately put that Bordeaux paste on the top of this plant so that no infection get penetrated into the stem and our plant will get protected from any disease and rotting. So we'll simply put some paste over here, and if required we'll put over side. So this is a simple way we can cut this plant and give the shape. Now what will happen, this stem last year we have cut and now this become the thicker one. Now this year the new stem is coming out of here and this 2 branches will become the thicker one, and whatever the flowering comes on this will be a very healthy one. If your plant is like 2 years old, like this plant is 2 years old and it grows very big, and I want to make the stems smaller, so even after 2 years I can cut it from here. So I am measuring this as a 6 inch and I am cutting from here, and I am going to develop 3 to 4 branches from here and develop it into the umbrella shape. So I am cutting this. Again we'll layer it with Bordeaux paste so our stem will get protected. So this is how we can prune and shape our plant or bend and shape our plant. So how do you find this video? Please write me back into this comment box, and if you like my technique of training this plant, then give me the like button. I will update you on the root trimming and the repotting of this plant in the near future with a separate video. But right now we'll complete our pruning for all this plant. Thank you.